Hello, everyone, and welcome to another rendition of Zenfolio Live. My name is Kayla, and I'm a member of the customer support team with Zenfolio, alongside Robert, who usually hosts. You're probably used to seeing him. But coming up this year, you'll actually be seeing more of me. Robert and I are going to both be hosting YouTube Live in the new year, so we're really excited about that, and I'm eager to help you guys out. So I did want to mention really quick before we get started that we do have some trade shows we're going to be at in the upcoming months. As you can see here, we are starting with Imaging USA in Nashville. So be sure to come check us out and say hi. Robert will actually be there if you want to meet him in person. And if you're interested in attending any of these, we are actually offering some free WPPI Expo passes. So if you're interested in going to that one, I think it's in Las Vegas. You can check out the link in the description that'll be posted after the live stream. So definitely go there for some more information. So with that all said, I hope you guys are doing great today. If you're new to the live stream, be sure to let us know where you're from, and if you're a returning viewer, just be sure to say hi in the comments. We always love to hear from you guys and just see what's going on. So today I want to talk to you guys about getting started in the new year. We're just a little bit into the new year, so now is the perfect time to really start revamping your site. Make sure you're all set up and ready to go in 2018. So today I want to show you a few tips for revisiting your price list, cleaning up your contact list, things like that. So let's get started. I do want to say if you do have any questions, please feel free to throw them out in the chat as we go, and I will look at them at the very end and just answer anything. So feel free to throw them out whether it's related to this or not. But first we'll want to check out the price list. And this is a big one because I always recommend looking at increasing your prices a bit each year for inflation. You might be someone who that doesn't work for, and that's totally fine, but it's definitely something you want to at least consider, think through, and really look at in the new year. So if you're someone who's pursuing a degree, taking classes, or even doing a bit of your own research online on YouTube, shout out, you're only going to be getting better, and you want to make sure that you're getting credit for that. So I'm going to go into one of my price lists real quick just by going to selling and then price list. Let me move my big head out of the way. Perfect. So as you can see, I have a ton of price lists here, but I'm just going to go down to my first price list I ever created. Okay, now that we're loading, there we go, getting there. But basically at this point, you do want to go into your price list that you have up and kind of consider an increase. If the timing is right, you might just want to go for it. I might decide that maybe my mini wallets just need to be 50 cents more. It doesn't even have to be anything dramatic. But my biggest piece of advice here is don't increase just for the sake of increasing. You really want to look at your profits, where you're at in your photography business, and ask yourself if you're making enough to sustain yourself full time. If it's just a hobby that you're doing, maybe you could consider it part-time work. Maybe consider, are you making enough money to sustain yourself for 15 to 20 hours a week, like a part-time job? Now, if you do decide that you would like to increase your prices, I would recommend doing it just as an overall percentage using the pricing link up here. When you click that, it will be done category by category, so this is just for the prints right now. But I can actually increase my percent over base price and my fixed markup a little bit. I might decide now is the time to do a pretty big increase and do 150% over base price and apply that. That will not change currently, but if I use the formula, it will change. Normally, when these are checked, it will just jump to the new prices like it did down here. I might decide that I need an even bigger jump and come in here and do 200% and $5 for fixed markup. And if you're curious about any of this math, it is available over here on the right. So make sure you look at that, and if you have any questions about that, do let us know. So I'm going to apply that, and you'll see now these are $7 each. If I come down here, these are not using the formula. I'll need to check those too and make sure everything's following that formula. Maybe even open up this category too. But once you've got that category done, you can open up the digital downloads and do the same exact thing. Home decor, do the same thing there. So it's really easy to just kind of take a look at this and get everything ready to go with your prices in the new year. Now, next we'll want to look at cleaning up your contact list, which is found under communications in the contact list area. So I'm going to head there. I just have a big weird mishmash of a bunch of emails that don't make any sense, so please ignore that. But essentially, what you'll want to be doing here is something that I'm super guilty of not doing regularly myself, which is kind of tidying things up, deleting contacts that just don't make sense, which of course a lot of mine do not because they are fake. But in your real price list, you might have duplicates. Occasionally I'll have a visitor sign in link that someone used like a fake email and a name that just didn't make sense, so I'll go through and kind of get rid of those. There might be duplicate entries, things like that. So this is where you'll want to kind of go in and delete these items. So for example, I might not know who this is. test@test.com sounds like a fake email, which it was. We can check that off over here on the right and choose delete. It'll ask if you're sure, remind you that the operation cannot be redone, or undone rather, and then you can click yes. If you need to delete multiple at a time, you can also do that. I might check off this one, maybe this one, and I'll come in and delete those as well, all in bulk. Also, if you need to delete contacts from a specific gallery event that you're just not promoting anymore, have no interest in keeping their emails for, you can show people who are tagged with just a specific gallery and apply that too. This will show me just users who are attached to that gallery, and I could check all of them off and delete those if I wanted to. So you have a ton of options here. You can go in and delete whatever's going to be relevant to you. And while you're here, you may want to export your contact list for 2018 and go ahead and update that in your email program too. So that's about it for the contact list. Now, one other thing I can recommend for prepping for the new year is photo organization. Let's just go to the photo section real quick here. And with this load, you're going to see that I have a ton of galleries that just don't make any sense. They are organized in no way, shape, or form. This is my test account, so it's just all over the place. Now, if your actual account looks like this, you might need some help redoing this, because you really want to make sure that you're able to find images quickly on the fly if someone asks you a question about them or you need to revisit it. So if you're someone who has all these galleries spread out with no naming structure, I'd really recommend doing this now before you add a whole new year's worth of content again. Just because the more you build this up, the worse it's going to get over time, believe me. So now is the time to break things up into multiple groups, and you may even want to create a 2018 group to have ready. So what I would probably do is come in here and create a few groups. I would just organize them by year probably to start. So I might have a 2016, I'll add that. I'll do 2017, add that one, and I'll go ahead and do a 2018 one as well, just so I have that ready. And after that, I would probably take some of these and just organize them in some way, shape, or form within these groups. Within 2016, I might have a portraits group, or maybe I'll organize it by date. It's really up to you, but you can also create more groups within this for some really deep customization of your organization. So I might choose to do it by date here. So let's say we'll do January shoots. And let's say that this 5 images gallery is a January shoot. I can hover over that and choose move, open that up, and put it in the January shoots gallery, or group rather. And that'll just be my very first one in there. You can go through and just add these one at a time, move them around. If I'm not mistaken, I think you can move multiple at once too, but there is a limit on that, so I'm not sure. Let's see. Now, it looks like you can't move multiple at once, but if you do need to move multiple photos at once, that is possible, just not multiple galleries at once. But again, you would just choose that move tool and move it into the appropriate gallery or group. So you'll want to get those well organized going into the new year, just to be certain that you are not making it harder for yourself down the line. Now, on top of cleaning up your photo section, I'd also recommend double checking your account settings as a whole. So we can go to the settings area next. This is, I feel like, a really good thing to do at the beginning of each year. Just to make sure that your contact information is still up to date, that you're using the best email available for us to contact you. You may consider changing up your branding in the new year. You may need to change your display name, things like that. So I really recommend just kind of going through every single one of these items. It looks a little daunting, but really it's pretty simple. And just making sure you've looked at every single setting in your account and that it is ready to go in the new year. Now, one important thing within the settings is your billing information. Just while you're in this area, you may want to open that up to the payment information. And you may want to just make note of the year your credit card is going to expire. If it's going to expire this year, you might consider setting a reminder for yourself the month before to update that when you get your new credit card. I know that's happened to me before with other accounts where I've completely forgotten and gotten a notice via email. So if you just want to avoid that altogether, I would definitely recommend checking this out. And in addition to this, you'll definitely want to look at your site itself. So I'm going to go into the customized website view real quick and look at how I might be able to update things in the new year. So here you can set up a new preset if you don't have time to get into any really deep customization. But if you want to stay on point with your branding, I might just consider switching up the layout and your current theme. So let me set this to not show. The presets are up here in the left just by going to preset. These are just a combination of layouts and themes that we have made available that we think look really nice. But again, if you decide it's not for you, none of it matches your branding good enough, that is totally fine. You can come in here and choose your own layout. I just have a grid one applied right now. And you can choose your own theme. And what I've done is edited a theme that I chose originally and kind of custom tailored it for myself. But you can always check out the actual built-in Zenfolio themes too. So as far as this goes, you'll definitely want to look at maybe updating some things. Maybe you've just had a grid layout for the entirety of your website with us. Maybe it's time to just look at some updated, modern looking layouts. So I definitely recommend taking a look at that too. And now that you've got your site in good shape and your account, what I like to do at the end of each year is create a thank you or year in review type of blog post. So I'm going to go back to the dashboard and I'll show you how to get started on that if it ever wants to load. All right, so we'll go to website and then we'll go to blog. If you're not someone who ever really uses your blog, I think a thank you post or even a year in review type of post might be really cool to even start it out with. Personally, I like to communicate directly to my audience with my blog. There's a lot of people who blog about just very generic things that honestly no one really cares about. So I like to use my blog as an opportunity to talk directly to people who would be coming in and booking with me, or might just be interested in like where my business is going. So in this post, I'll highlight some of my favorite shoots or even throw in a few where are they now type of details. If a client got married, I might discuss how happy they are now, how they bought a house this year, they have a little one on the way, for example. Another client may have done a maternity shoot and I can give an update on how their little one's doing. So I really like to do this just to make my clients feel super special. Each one of my clients do mean a lot to me and my business, so a little shout out really can go a long way. And honestly, when people book with me, they'll say like, hey, you do those blog posts, right? When's that going to come out? There you go. So if you're not someone who deals with the public directly though, maybe you're a wildlife photographer, for example, you may want to discuss your favorite shots from 2017 here. You can embed a slideshow of your favorite ones and just kind of write something up under it. maybe where you plan to travel in 2018, so people know what they have to look forward to. And a blog post like this can not only draw attention to your site, but it can get people really excited about what they'll see from you in the coming year. So all of these things in conjunction can really help going into the new year. Some of these things may not apply to you if you're someone who's a little more on top of things than I am, because I am very guilty of a few of these things. But I do highly recommend taking the time now to get this all in order, ready to go for the coming year. Because again, if you get into, I guess, like your website customization in the middle of the year, sometimes people are taken aback by it. I think this is the perfect time to just get everything set up and ready to roll. So without further ado, let me check out the chat and see where we're at there. It looks like we do have a few chats. Let me open that up. Wow, we are busy today. Yay. So it looks like Russell VM maybe? He says, my intent is to sell large wall-sized photos and prints of paintings. How do I get quotes from Zenfolio's network print companies? So we don't really provide quotes necessarily, but I can show you how to find the product prices in the account. You will have to have an account to actually see these prices, so make sure that you do at least start a trial if you're someone who's just kind of watching this on the fly. But you'll want to go to the selling section of your account, and then you can go to the products from integrated vendors area. And from here, you're going to see a list of every single lab that we're partnered with, whether they're in the US, the UK, wherever. And you can click on that and scroll down to find a little bit more information about them, the products they offer, and their prices. So it'll tell you everything you need to know about them, maybe some stuff you don't even care about. But down at the very bottom, it will mention the actual products themselves, and you can view those and the prices. So definitely be sure to check that out. All right. So, looks like you asked another question. So for maybe a 20 by 30, 20 by 40, etc., you said, how do I know or where to find out what Zenfolio prints in the network would charge for sizes and finishes? So, yep, same exact thing. You'll just want to head to that area. They'll tell you all about the different paper types, mounts, things like that you can add. And those are, again, just the base prices, so what it would cost you. And you can mark it up from there in your own price list. So your options are really endless once you get started. All right. Let me check out chat again. It looks like we're all caught up there. And thank you, Robert, for posting the link there. Robert's kind of moderating for us today. We're switching places. So, yes, Robert will be posting some relevant links there if you want to check those out, too. All right. So, I think I have an email question here. This person is asking, how can I get a custom email address, and does Zenfolio provide one? Zenfolio actually does not provide custom domains, custom email addresses, or any email-related services, really. If you are interested in this, though, you can point a custom domain to your Zenfolio account, and you can, within that custom domain, set up your own email service with most domains that are out there. So if my website was just kaylazenfolio.com, I could have kayla@kaylazenfolio.com. It's totally possible with a lot of custom domain hosts out there. We're just not one of them. So you may want to take a look at that. Just contact your domain host and see what's possible. All right. Let's see. Whoops. Nothing in chat yet, so let me answer another email question. This person says, can I sell some of my old photography gear on my Zenfolio website? Yes, so this can be done with self-fulfilled products, and you can sell anything that's legal to sell in the United States on your site. So I can show you how to do that real quick. If you go to selling at the top here, you can just click on the word selling, and you'll want to go to self-fulfilled products. And sometimes this sounds a little weird to people because they're like, you know, if they're wanting to offer something from their personal preferred vendor that they use that's a local, they may not want to use MPix, for example. It can seem a little weird, you know, self-fulfilled, I'm not fulfilling it myself, but really you are. You would be placing an order for the customer in this area. So I do recommend using this if you're not interested in using our personal preferred vendors that we're partnered with, or if you just want to sell something yourself, like if you do printing yourself. As you can see, I have a puppy test, but let's not sell puppies on Zenfolio, guys. I think there are better markets for that. If you go to add product, you could sell your used gear on here. You might say that you have a Nikon D7000 body only. You could come in here and provide a description about it, the condition it's in. Your base cost wouldn't really be relevant here. This is just how much it costs you to create a product. But since you already have this, it's of course not going to matter. You can add this to a specific category too. I would probably leave something like this in other products just because it's not going to make sense to put it in prints or home decor. An actual tangible product like photo gear will probably need to stay in other products. And from there you can upload a photo of what it looks like and a larger image of that same one so that when it's clicked on it can be zoomed in on. You can choose all sorts of things from here, the number of items required for it, things like that. And once you actually have all of this filled in and set up, you can set up the shipping for it. If you're planning on selling this not necessarily locally but anywhere, you will need to set up a couple shipping methods, and that can be done over on the left in the self-fulfilled product section. So shipping methods are over here. I have a couple just set up here as a test. I have like a small and medium for FedEx and just small for this little test here. You can really do whatever you want here, but essentially you're just going to be determining when a small package just isn't going to cut it and you need to go up to a medium, and when a medium's not going to cut it, when to go up to a large, etc., etc. So definitely take a look at that, determine where you want to ship, and save that method and apply it to it. And once you've got all that set up, I would probably just upload a photo of the gear itself into a gallery, create a price list, and assign it to those images so people could go in and choose what they wanted to purchase from you. So very simple. I think you could probably get that set up really easily. It's not something, you know, people commonly sell on Zenfolio, but it can certainly be done. So definitely check that out. Alright, it looks like we do have another question here. CJD7 says, how do I see which pictures my clients have indicated as favorites? So for this, let me move my head out of the way. This is actually in the photos section. If you just hover over the word photos here, you can go to favorites, or it's over here in the organizer as well. I don't know if I even have any in my account, so this might look weird. Okay, I do have some. But with favorites, customers can actually share their favorites with you if they need to send them to you for some sort of reason to indicate something about their photos. But if they don't actually do that, you can kind of spy on them a little bit and see what they are adding to their favorites, and go to the other favorites section. These can get a little bit out of order because I think by default they are listed by title, and a lot of them will be called My Selection repeatedly. So I like to sort them by modified to get the newest ones up at the top and go with that. So this will be where you want to view those, and there are a couple options over here on the right for what you can do with those as well. So you'll want to check that out too. All right, so looks like we're good there. I do have another email question here. This person says, I have had my first few orders on Zenfolio. How do I collect my profit? So if you have sold vendor fulfilled products through Zenfolio at a profit, this would go into your Zenfolio account balance. And I can show you where you can find that information. That's going to be in the settings under billing. If it'll ever load. Let's go browser only here too. There we go. So I can go to my account statement. And when that loads, I'll be able to see exactly what is in my account currently. Currently, I have a really fun, negative balance because I do a lot of weird testing in my account. But hopefully you have a positive balance. And you can just see that in the ending balance area up here, what exactly you have in your account. And you can see all of these charges here and even change the date range that's being showed if need be. You can also change to a different currency if you need to. But after you have determined how much you have in here, you can request a payout. And you will have to have a little bit of information filled out here. I think, so mine's negative, so a lot of this isn't going to make sense. But I can come in here and choose a bunch of different options and eventually choose where my payout is going to go to, continue. You can determine a specific balance to be sent to you, or you can just request the entire balance as a whole. So totally up to you what you want to do there. But once you do this, you may also want to consider if you're selling self-fulfilled products. You may need to actually have that set up a particular way. I'm going to go into selling and show you real quick. It should be under collecting payments. Self-fulfilled products are a little bit different. With them, they do not go into your Zenfolio account balance like our vendor-fulfilled products will, or the profits from those orders. So you can choose if you're in the US, I think you can do any 3 of these. It may be a little different country to country, but PayPal should be an option in pretty much any country. And with this, you can just enter your PayPal email address and you will be good to go. You can also set up a merchant account with Authorize.net or PayPal Payments Pro. And this will allow them to use a credit card without leaving your site and having to go to PayPal to enter all that information. And you can choose which credit cards you'll accept as well. So with self-fulfilled, those will go to any one of these 3 places. Again, it just kind of depends on how you have it set up. But you may want to look at how you have that set up and determine exactly where those funds would be going. All right, so I think we're good on chat again. We can take another email question here. Let's see. This person says, how come if I set up a digital download product to use the high resolution setting, it doesn't show to my clients on QuickShop, but if I change it to the original resolution, it does show up. So this almost sounds like the original resolution doesn't meet our high resolution requirements, which need to be at least 5 megapixels if I'm not mistaken. We can go to the selling area and check that out real quick. So once you're here, you're going to want to go to the digital products area. And if you have one set up that's kind of being weird for you, you may just want to check that one out, but I'll just go to a new one real quick to demonstrate. In this area, you can choose a specific image dimension that you want to sell your image at. So the high resolution one is 5 megapixels, but we also have the option to just do your original one. So let's say that your original photo is only 4 megapixels. In that case, it wouldn't be large enough for someone to order a high resolution image. So that option will not show if that's the case. But if you choose original, it will always show, no matter what the size is, even if it's less than 1 megapixel. Personally, I like to use these high, medium, and low megapixel ones, but I might just double check that I have at least 5 megapixels so that it's downsizing to the appropriate resolution. And once you have that determined, it should show up as long as it meets the requirement. And if you're not sure if it meets the requirement, you can go to the photo section here. I'll just open up, let's see, go to my art museum images. So I will click on an image over here and click the little eye in the circle. It'll tell me the size. So this one would not be good for the medium size or high resolution. If I was going to sell this, I would probably just offer it at the original size for this particular gallery. All of these images I know were shot on the same camera, so they're most likely going to have been processed the same way and have a similar megabyte size. So you may just want to take a look at that and see what's going to be appropriate for you. But yeah, if you're ever curious about the exact size, you can click that little eye in the circle after clicking a photo, and it'll tell you exactly what is there. All right. Still no chats. Okay. So if you do have any further questions, please feel free to ask. Anything as random as anything I've gone over already. We can answer anything under the sun for you. So please feel free to ask any questions. Does not have to be on topic at all. All right. We do have other email questions though, so that's okay. This person is asking, can I show awards I have won somewhere on my homepage? Yes, you can. I think the Knot actually recently announced their winners for 2018, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So I think sites like that will actually give you a badge, which you can display on your webpage. If you're interested in doing that, you can go to the Customize Website view. Let's go ahead over there. And there are several places that you can enter this. You would need HTML code for it though, for a lot of these areas, because we don't actually set up a way for you to embed something with that HTML code necessarily. So one place that you can do it if you do have the HTML code is in a custom header, which is down here. You can click Site Header and do a custom one. And in the content area, you can embed a code or just do it in the source code, either way. Paste that code in here and apply it. You will need to make sure that you do include your logo and other things like this if you're going to do it from scratch though. And after that, you can also include it in a welcome message, which can be found in the options. You want to make sure that it is set to show first and foremost, and then go to the welcome message tab. And let me delete this. You can click on the source button here, and you can paste in that code, click it again, and apply it. And then it will show that badge in the welcome message. So those are just a couple of the places. There are many more if you're curious. You can do custom pages, a blog page. You can put it in the sidebar of your blog, things like that. So I would just want to make sure that you know we do not help with the actual custom coding, but definitely if you have any questions about where to put that code once you have it, you can contact us and we'll be sure to help. All right. So I guess, let's see here. Still no chatters, that's all right. We do have more email questions, so I'll go through those. And let's see. If I downgrade to Pro from Advanced, will I need to create all of my price list again, or will they remain intact? Also, do I have to wait a full year before I can upgrade back to Advanced if I decide I need to? So all of your price lists will actually stay there as long as you're going from Advanced to Pro. If you're going from Pro to Starter, they would be deleted since selling at a profit is not available at the Starter plan. But Advanced to Pro, you should be in the clear. Your price list, watermarks, everything should still stay intact. No problems there. The only thing that might be affected is if you're using Miller's Lab, which is only available at the Advanced plan. You might see some of those items disappear off of your price list, but the price list itself will remain there with any other products you're using. So from there though, if you do need to upgrade, you can do that at any time. You don't have to wait a full year. And we do offer a pro-rated upgrade. So anytime unused on your Pro account, if you wanted to go back to Advanced, you could go in and receive a discount for the time unused. And from there, you would just go through and upgrade just like normal and get that discount. And I can show you where you can actually upgrade in case anyone's curious, just to know how much they would get for a discount. I'll go back to the dashboard and show you that real quick. So this will be up in the settings. We can go to settings and then account. And from here, I have a special account since I'm an admin, but Normally there would be a little button here that would say upgrade. So you can click that, or occasionally there will be notifications up here if you see something about that. So be sure to check that out, and maybe now would be a great time for you to upgrade with a prorated discount. All right. Now I did want to take a moment just to let you know that if you're watching the recorded version of this, you can send comments and questions for next week if you're interested in getting your question answered live still, but couldn't make the live stream. That's totally fine. So just be sure to leave a comment, or you can contact us at support@zenfolio.com. We'll be happy to answer any of your questions there immediately, but if you just want to see it answered on the live stream where we can kind of show you the tutorial here, feel free to ask. We're happy to help you. Now, let's see what else we've got here. This email user says, I don't like any of the templates for cards from MPix. Can I use my own? Yes, you can. So you can create your own custom templates for a lot of different products, not just cards. I can show you that real quick. We refer to these as templated products, and they are found under Selling. And then we'll go to the bottom left corner to Template Designs. And I do have a few here already, but I'll just create a new one to kind of show you what can be done here. So when it opens, you can narrow it down by vendor. For example, I don't really sell in anywhere outside of the United States, so I might not use One Vision. I might just choose MPix since they're the one that I use primarily. And from there, it'll show you all of the different products that they have available. There's so much stuff. Honestly, I could go through this for days, but if in this case this person didn't really like the card, so I might choose to create a 5x7 greeting card. There are also folded ones too you can do, but I'll just go with the flat greeting card for now. And when this loads, it's going to show me a couple different views of the card. I'm going to have the front and back, and I can choose exactly what's going to go on each side. So on the front, you may want to upload a background design, which is going to be more if you created something in Photoshop that needs to go onto this card. But if you're just interested in doing something super, super simple, you can add a photo placeholder onto this. Drag that nice and big. Let's go there. That'll take just a second to load, and then you'll see the sample photo will show there. And I might also choose to add some text to the front of the card, so I might do that here. And from there, the person would be able to type their own text here and enter whatever photo was on my site here that they wanted to purchase and kind of make their own card, which I think is a great option if I don't know, if there's a holiday that is kind of weird, but maybe they send cards for, you can do things like that. So once you have that ready to go, you'll just need to hit next. And once you get to that next page, it'll ask you what you want to name it, where it needs to go, things like that. So I might just name this Super Awesome Template. Add a description here and choose what design group it's going to go into. For example, most people don't send St. Patrick's Day cards, but it is on there if you're interested. If someone contacted you and they were like, hey, I really want a St. Patrick's Day template, you could put this in here and say, well, I have one for you. It's completely blank and you can do whatever you want with it. So that is probably something I would do in this case. And below that, you can upload a little picture of what it looks like if you wanted to take a screenshot of that placeholder and upload it. Or if you've ever ordered a product based off of that template, you could take a photo of it and upload it here. And when you're done, you would just want to save it if you need to come back to it, or just go ahead and publish it. And when you're all set there, it should just go onto your price list automatically. If you already have a 5x7 flat greeting card, it'll just go into the St. Patrick's Day category. But if need be, you can add that product to your price list, and then it should show up. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that. So let's take a look at chat again. Still nothing. Definitely, like Robert said, don't be shy. If you want to try to stump me even, that's totally fine. I can take some hard questions today. But yes, please, if you have any questions, we're more than happy to help. So just let us know. All right. Now, I do want to let you know we have about 18 minutes left. So definitely get those questions in now if you are planning on asking one, but I'll continue via email questions for now. This person says, sales tax just changed in my area on January 1st, and it hasn't been updated on Zenfolio yet. So what should I do? We are in the process of updating sales tax changes, but if we haven't updated them in your area yet based on your location, you may want to send us an email and let us know about those changes. We sometimes will miss ones. There's a huge United States here. So it's hard to keep up with these things. And if you want to email us, kind of like proof, just like a government document of some sort online, link us to that and we'll forward it to our accounting team. And they can look at that and update it immediately for you. But in the meantime, if we haven't been able to get to that yet, we can use a custom sales tax on Zenfolio. So if you want to do that, you can go to the settings over here and then go down to selling. And in the selling section, there is sales tax right here in case you've never seen it. In general, you will need to check off that box and choose which states you want to offer it in. If I need to sell in Alabama, and the sales tax has been not updated yet, I can choose a custom sales tax over here and set that percentage. We can say it's 7.25%. Now, you can enter your specific city or town or a specific zip code as well, but if you leave these blank, it will go for the entire state. If you do enter something there, it will only be for that specific city, town, or zip code. So just be sure to note that. And over here, you can choose the products you want to have tax apply to. In some instances, you may not want to apply it to digital products just because it's not a tangible product, and in some states that's not necessary, and you may not need to include it on shipping. But definitely apply it to the vendor products and self-fulfilled products if that is what is needed for your state. And if you're unsure what's needed for your state, you'll want to make sure to contact a local tax authority of some sort. Ask them what's appropriate, and be sure to save those changes. So after you have that all set up, you should be good to go, and from there it should apply that tax percentage to all orders in Alabama. So yeah, and again, if you need to email us any of that information, the email would be support@zenfolio.com, and we will just forward that on to our accounting team to get that updated in the near future. So let us know if you have any questions about sales tax. Otherwise, I will keep going. So this person says, I have a PDF I created for my old website that I want to use on my new Zenfolio site. Do I need to turn this into a custom page? So not necessarily. PDF files can be uploaded into Zenfolio actually. Let me move my head. You can go to website and then PDFs over here. And you can upload that PDF, just go to new, and you'll title it. For example, I had an outfit guide on here that I uploaded, and I just named it outfitguide.pdf. And with that, this was just a little sample thing I made. When I click on this, it will display the outfit guide in whatever PDF reader is available to that user. So it's pretty cool. And I'm going to go back though. Now, if you want to link that onto your site, that is also possible. So I'll go to my Zenfolio and customize website. And when that loads, you can go to the site menu over on the left of the screen. Eventually. There we go. So you can go over here, click plus new, name it whatever you need. I've already done this once, so outfit guide 2, and link it to an actual PDF document over here. And you can choose where that needs to be displayed as well. And again, from there, when they click that menu item, it will open up just like we saw before. I'm going to open a new tab here. And it will just open up in the best possible way for the customer given whatever program they have on their own computer. Yep. So it'll look like, wait, that's not linking to the right place. Just kidding. This one's linking to a custom page. But if I did link it to that PDF document, it would upload like a PDF and they could view it that way. All right. So let's see what else we've got here. This person says, how can I determine how long an order will take to get to my customer? So this will depend on your exact location, of course, but you can estimate exactly how long that'll take once you get the order. So let me go back to the dashboard here and we'll take a look at that. So once I'm in the dashboard, you may have gotten an order and I have a pending one here we can look at. This particular order was just placed today, but let's say that this was placed 5 days ago. You won't want to start counting the time that it'll take until the order is actually approved. That will be considered the first day. So I would recommend waiting, not counting those original 5 days, for example, and just starting on the day you actually approve it. Now from there, you can go to that same section we showed before. Let me see, we'll go to selling and we'll go to the products from integrated vendor section. And that order that I had, I know is from MPIX, so I might come in here to MPIX and determine exactly how long that's going to take. I'll look first at the processing times. So let's say that that order was just for prints. They should take 1 to 2 business days, meaning they are not printing on Saturday and Sunday. And with today being Thursday, it might take 2 days. If I just approve that today, it probably wouldn't be completely processed until Monday, since it does take up to 2 full business days. But it may just take 1, so that's something to consider too. In that case, it would probably go out by Friday, but it just kind of depends. There's a little bit of a window there. And then from there, you can check out the shipping information. You can go to more. And I know that person chose standard shipping. So that's going to be 4 to 8 business days. You can see what it costs them, what's included here, things like that. For this though, again, I know they chose standard shipping, which I know will now take 4 to 8 business days. So let me pull up my calendar real quick and we can kind of take a look at how long that'll take. So I'll just look at the full month. Perfect. So if I approve that order today, it could take 2 business days, like I said, so it could go 1, 2. But Monday is actually a holiday, so that actually affects things as well. It gets a little complicated with holidays. There are ones the lab does and does not work. So you may want to just kind of talk to us about that, and we can find out for you if you need an exact estimate. But as a safe bet, I would say, just in case, at the latest, this is going to be processed by Tuesday. And then from there, it will take the 4 to 8 business days. So let's assume it's going to take the very longest, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And at the very latest, it should be there by the 26th, because we do not count the weekends. So just for this particular order, that's just one example. Again, depending on what's ordered, the processing times may vary. It may vary also depending on the holidays, what lab you're ordering from. There are so many things to determine exactly when this order is going to be ready. So if you're unsure, you can always write in and we can help you determine when that should be ready to go for you. All right. So let's check out chat again. Still nothing. No one wants to talk to me. That's okay. You guys can definitely write in whenever you have a question though, but I'll keep going through the emails again. This person says, why is my site showing as not secure? I work with schools and this is killing my business. So it sounds like you're asking about the icon that shows up in browsers, and it kind of says something about the password information is not encrypted, something along those lines. It's something that I know Google Chrome has done and maybe even Firefox recently. They've made some changes there. So if that is what you're referring to, Viewing a web page that just has photos on it is not typically considered secure. That's kind of standard across most web pages. But all client login pages, anything where a actual password is going to be entered, your credit card information, those pages are secure within Zenfolio. So nothing to worry about there. But if you do have any concerns about this SSL stuff with Zenfolio, you can email us, and we'll be happy to explain exactly where we're at with that at the time. But again, most of your pages are going to be totally fine. It's just not really necessary for like your home page where no secure information is really going to exist. So that in general can be ignored. Now, we do have another email question here. This person says, can I create additional pages with custom text other than the built-in pages Zenfolio offers? And if so, is there a limit to how many? So it sounds like you're not really happy with the built-in pages, which is totally okay. Sometimes they're just not going to do for what you need. You may need to embed some specific things. You may need more images than what we allow. So if that's the case, you can go to website and custom pages and create a new page here. And there is no limit to how many you can have. You can create as many as you want. You can put them all in a drop-down menu in your site menu and make sure they don't get cut off in your site menu. And as you can see, I have a lot here. So again, you can create as many as you want to, and it should be just fine. All right. So next question here. Do you have a client-facing help guide or video? I'm specifically looking for one for creating photo books. We do have one, and I'll get Robert to throw that link out in the chat to that specific one. But if you're ever curious, in your site, you can scroll down to the very bottom and click the Support Center link. I'll just go ahead and go there, why not? When this loads, it will show a box at the top, and you can enter any sort of keyword there, like in this case, you're looking for client stuff. So you could type in the word client and see what comes up. And we do have a lot of client links. Let me get that pulled up here. So anything that says for clients at the end of it is going to be something intended for your clients to be able to see without seeing all the stuff in the background. So you could link them to stuff like that. Here's another one about the photo album design service and how it works. So yeah, anytime you're curious if we have something for your customer, you can come in here and just type client and a keyword involving what you're looking for. But for now, I will go back. If it wants to let me. There we go. So we do have some other questions here. This person says, I need to have a way for my accountant to access my Zenfolio site, but I don't really want them to see everything in my account in fear of something getting changed or messed up. Does Zenfolio offer a solution for this? Yes, we do. So we offer a tool. It's called multi-user accounts, and it's basically where you can set up login for other users within your Zenfolio account and set settings for them where maybe they can't see your billing information, or maybe they can only see certain photos, things like that. So if you want to get that set up, you'll want to go to settings and then account. And once you're there, you'll want to go to the manage users area. And I do have a little test one here, but I'll create a new one. So with this, you will just want to enter their full name, their email address, and give them a Zenfolio username. And then from here, you can choose their actual role. So a lot of the time in my personal account, if I had someone second shoot a wedding with me, for example, I might add them as a contributing photographer. And I might assign them access to just a gallery where we shot that wedding together so that they can come in and upload those images themselves. For this particular role, they can't customize the website, they can't see your client list, favorites, or selling features. So you'll just want to go through and see what is available to each type of role and see what's going to make sense for the type of person you want viewing your site. In this case, we do have an accounting one. Your accountant can come in and just see the important information they need to see and nothing else. And if you have any questions about the permissions that they are allowed, if you're unsure what something means, just let us know. Alright guys, we have about 3 minutes left, so let me know if you have any further questions. Otherwise, I'll just keep rolling through. I think we have time for about one more. Let's see here. Wow, we went through a lot of questions. Okay. Alright. So this person says, I need to have... Nope. I got my first order and it is pending my approval. What does that mean? And do I have to do this every time? I can show you that pending order that I had earlier, actually. It should be in the selling section. You can just go to orders and click the order number to pull that up. So all this means is that you have order approval turned on in your price list, and you can turn that off in the price list settings. I can show you how to get to that too in a second. But when this is waiting on your approval, it's basically just giving you an opportunity to make sure your client made intelligent choices and purchased exactly what they wanted. Occasionally cropping can get a little bit off if you allow them to crop their own photos. So you want to make sure that the lab is going to get the best possible version of your photo. There are a lot of different things you can do here, like switch out a different photo if they change their mind. You can, even if you're at the advanced account level, add on additional products at your own cost. It's kind of like a fun add-on. And so I recommend checking out what all your options are here and making sure you're making a profit. Looks like in this case I would have made $8.39 if it was a real order. But I can either approve it or cancel it from here because I am at the advanced account level. You may not see that cancel option if you're at a lower account level. But yeah, and after that it would be sent straight through to the lab. We do recommend keeping that order approval on because it does take a little, there's just a short window for the order after it's approved to get to the lab. And once it's with the lab, it's done. A lot of the time we cannot catch it in time and changes cannot be made. So if someone changes their mind, sometimes we can't necessarily cancel the order at that point and they're kind of stuck with it. The lab's always happy to help, of course, 90% of the time, but sometimes it just gets stuck. So we recommend turning on the order approval just to make sure that the client's happy with what they have, you think everything looks good, and you'll be good to go. So that kind of does it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you have any further questions, you can post those in the comments or reach us at support@zenfolio.com. If you want me to answer something specifically, you can put attention Kayla in the subject line. If you miss Robert, put Robert's name. And be sure to like and subscribe, and click the little bell next to the subscribe button if you want notifications for the live stream. Otherwise,